Welcome back, folks. This is episode 146. We got an amazing topic today. I really love it. Shout out to Walt for picking it out. And before we get into it, what's good, Walt?
What's good, man? It's another day, another dream. Just
I like that one.
just uh just maintaining and just staying positive, man, and trying to stay motivated to um be grateful, be grateful and
Yeah,
just keep the alignment that I feel like I have going a little bit, and just stay aligned with purpose and stay aligned with our passion, and because
yeah.
as you and what was his name, Mark?
Mark.
Was it Mark?
Mark Mears.
Mark Mears.
That's who you got me thinking
Have
of,
I
too.
learned that your passion is probably your purpose too, so just making sure that I'm aligned in all those different areas, man. So how about you? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Yeah, yeah. Constantly thinking about those different things, staying locked in, being appreciative. Um, I'm I struggle. Oh, this is not about people. We talking about it's about payroll. I was about to get in some it's about
Oh
people stuff because
no,
I'm
no,
excited
no,
too, folks. Check out. So if I can, I'm just gonna throw it out there. We're gonna do once a month. We're gonna do it's about people on the it's about your paycheck platform, and just because me
no.
and Walt got a lot to say about other stuff other than our paychecks and payroll, we are still
Mm-hmm.
human. It is IAP is about people.
Yeah.
So anywho, what I'll say here is that like and I've been and it's something that I've been struggling with for a little while, right? Even past kind of this resting period that I had, and is like I feel like it's too late.
For what?
Everything for success, for all the stuff, and I'm like,
Okay. Okay.
I'm too old. And I'm not. I can see. I know, bro. Exactly. And
You're
that's.
young.
I've just been fighting with it though. Um,
It's a
damn,
it's a
I
it's a
meant to change my sign too, but damn.
it's look, it's a realistic thing that we go
Yeah,
through,
yeah,
and I commend you for even opening up about that, because a lot of people would not be transparent about going through that or feeling those things, and lots of people, just would continue with day-to-day status quo and not be transparent about that. But I think that speaks to who you are, because you want to succeed.
yeah.
You
I
want
mean,
to.
and I'm already successful, right?
You are. You're blessed, bro.
Right.
We did the
Likewise, right?
stats.
Both of us, right?
We did the
We did the
stats, and,
stats.
and we did the research, and we did the stats. We did the research and found the
Yep.
stats that
Yep.
said that you're blessed. You are successful, wildly
Yep.
successful.
Yep.
And I think that we have to just kind of recalibrate our brains to understand what success looks like, and just say, hey, I want to get to that next level of success.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes me think of and we shared it. I shared it on one of the episodes. Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tanks. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
where she said it, but she said something like entrepreneurs and folks like us that just kind of always looking for that next level are really have something broken from their childhood that they're
Mm-hmm.
always just trying to fill some great void that is just you're just trying to fill from childhood trauma, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So but yeah, that other than that, I'm good. Life is good. You
Yeah.
know, like every other American living paycheck to paycheck, trying to figure out how to get get a little ahead and
Yeah.
solve bigger things. But
So
anywho,
speaking of that, how's that financial fitness challenge
s-
going for you?
it's going good.
Okay.
Oh damn, I gotta oh yeah, I'm still on track. Like I'm still investing in Robinhood and
Nice,
cutting
nice.
some things out of habits. I still haven't. Go ahead.
Have you been monitoring, like, how closely have you been monitoring, like, the change, the fluctuations in the market and or crypto, whatever you're investing in?
I
Have you been really
haven't,
watching it?
not really, no,
Okay.
because I not yet, because I have so little dollars invested.
Okay.
Like I said,
Okay.
I put everything into Amazon because I'm like, all right, this is just only a little bit of money. We
Okay.
got to
Okay.
wait until we diversify a little bit more. I listen in my news consumption and podcast consumption. I'm
Yeah.
kind of, listening to different things. And
Yeah.
um, what about you?
Look, doing the same thing. Look, realize that works as far as food and the food expenses, finding out
Hmm.
what works for me, and implementing that plan in place. Doing the investing. I put some of my music online on
Oh, you
this app
have?
called Soundy.
Nice. You
Yeah,
see?
so I have to check it out. So I've been just
Dope.
busy, just doing different things, putting it out there just to try to get some revenue in. And I have been looking at I don't look at it every day, but I do look at the app that I use is called Public, and you can
Hmm.
invest in, it's just like Robinhood. You can invest in different things and stuff like that. So I have a couple of investments out there. Not much at all, but last week it was down a lot, and this week is up
Ooh,
again. So
right.
it's
But that's the
there's
market.
fluctuations. Yeah,
Yeah. And
so
that's and
it's
now
all
you
good,
got me
man.
curious because I want to look at my little few pennies. But excuse me. Um, no doubt. That's what's up. That's
Yeah,
awesome,
man.
bro. Oh, I was gonna say you should share the link in the show notes. Like,
Oh, for Soundy.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I'll
just
put
put
it
it
out
out
there.
there.
I'll put it out there,
Yeah,
and I didn't put all of them out there. I have hundreds of different things that I've made, hundreds of like
you posted
tracks.
hundreds of tracks.
No, not yet. I posted maybe
Oh,
like 10 of them, but I still have to
wow.
put like the hundreds or so that I have out there.
Dang,
I have to
bro.
put
You
them out there.
see?
Yeah, and like, look, it doesn't. It's not like I'm trying to become an artist. Like, I gave up that dream a long time ago. As far as like, I don't have the rap voice or the music voice or anything
No,
like
I
that.
think you got a rap voice. Hell
But
yeah.
but I think that for me, as being a creative, I would love to have intro music for a show, or I love that the fact that this platform that we have allows me to like
Be
exercise
creative.
those creative
Yeah.
muscles and put the music on there. A lot of people don't know that. There's something that Brian and I, well, Brian listens to the music to make sure it's good. And
Yes.
then, but it's something that
Yeah.
I create and
Yeah.
put out here for us. So I love being able to do that.
And we gotta get some new ones going now too. We need a new intro.
Yeah.
We need two new intros, two new outros.
Yep.
So I mean, I think we already have the music. We've already kind of narrowed like the
Yeah. We
music
selected
down.
our, yeah.
We just got to really script out the intro, outro, and now with the AI we can create it through that because we were like
Yeah.
struggling, like, how are we gonna do this? But
Yeah.
I think that solved for it. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
dope,
man.
bro.
Yeah.
See, that's awesome.
So
Cool.
look, just for those of you who are listening on live, or you're going to be listening to this recording when it posts, like pursue those passions. Take this financial fitness challenge with us. Where
Yeah.
can you improve in your life? Where can you
Yep.
gain some traction? Where can
Little
you,
incremental changes.
make
Yep.
some cuts? Here or there. Like every little bit helps. Like, hey, some people they discount how much $20 could be. They're like, well, it's only $20 a month. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
I'm glad you said that because that's the one thing I was trying to share with folks. Ooh, and okay, here's another thing that I added to the daily activities is this app
Hmm.
called Fetch,
Okay.
like Fetch dog, and it's kind of confusing because the logo is a dog. It's called Fetch. I don't know what that's about, but what it does is who knows? But you take, I'm sure if we look it up, there's a story behind it. But you take pictures of your receipts, and you build up points, and you basically get gift cards, free discounts, whatever it is, based on the points that you rack up.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my sister-in-law put us onto it, and
Yeah, it
you
says
know,
it's a free rewards app that lets you
thank you,
earn
sir.
points for shopping, playing games, and scanning receipts.
Yep.
Yep. Nice.
Oh, see, so all I do is do the scan and receipts part. I haven't shopped through it yet, but you can use the points from there to shop through it. And I
Yeah.
haven't played the games. I'm not getting into the games like
I mean,
that
maybe
part.
you should. They might, hey, might
I
use
know.
some
I just
reward points. See.
I'm scared to because it's like, oh, I'm gonna get hooked on this stupid
Oh
game.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Like Candy Crush. Oh my God, Candy Crush was like, forget
yeah,
about
yeah.
it.
Candy
So
Crush. Yep.
it's like as much as we want to do in our lives, like we have to segment our time
Yep.
properly
Yep.
to not um So that was the other thing I wanted to mention in the challenge is like reward programs
Yep.
like this type of thing and other ones that are out there that you know are worth it. Like again, if you're trying to save every dollar, because it's all about a mental mindset. How you do anything is how you do everything. So if
Hmm.
you're cost conscious and saving and frugal and diligent and efficient with everything, and you're gonna build that, take that habit with you to everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, thanks for that.
Nice, man. I got a little article to share.
Yes, perfect
It's going to
timing.
be quick. So it's from 2020, and it's about an employee who was arrested for workers' comp fraud. It was an IHOP employee out in California, and
No.
basically, I'm not going to go into the full nitty gritty of it, but
Little true
he
crime
he
action.
was yeah he was charged with false claims for workers comp because he did get injured at work. He said he was that he was performing his job duties while he was work hurt, but after the state did an investigation, they found out that he was actually wrestling at work with another coworker, and
Wrestling.
that's how he got hurt. And he broke his clavicle.
Damn.
Yeah. So
So
like, all in all, he stole, I think, 22,000 dollars.
so he made it look like it was a work industry in
He was at work,
injury,
yeah,
but it
but
happened
he was
at
not.
work.
It
But he's
wasn't doing
wrestling.
job duty. So yeah, man. I just wanted to share that really quick.
Oh man. Yeah, that's awesome. I don't have a news update for us today. Sorry, folks.
All good.
Um, but let's get into a little bit of paying the bills before we get into the main topic.
Oh, we gotta pay those bills.
Got to
Speaking
pay
of
the
financial
bills.
fitness. All right. As you're setting ambitious goals for 2025, remember that a well organized team is the foundation for success. So in 2025, streamline your business operations with Time Track Go. Their friendly user time tracking software empowers you to get what? Organized. Say goodbye to messy spreadsheets and inaccurate time entries. Effortlessly track those employee hours with their user friendly time clock, streamline those time off requests and approvals with their intuitive system, and automate vacation and sick leave policies.
You know me. I don't get into the new year, new me thing. But if you want to have the most productive year ever, if you want to make 2025 that productive year, and the start of every productive year after that, you shouldn't have just one, right?
Hmm.
Sign up for a free trial of Time Track Go today and experience the difference. In just minutes, you'll be on your way to increased productivity, reduced payroll errors, that kind of that's yes, it takes me to a whole nother place. Improved employee satisfaction, as we talk about employee experience today, and more time to focus on what matters most. So don't let time tracking become a burden. Let time track go, simplify your life, and help you achieve your goals in 2025. Visit www.timetrackgo.com. That is timetrackgo.com. Let's go.
Let's go. All
So
right,
I'm
let's get into it.
excited.
What
Yes,
you
I'm
got for us,
excited.
bro?
So we're talking about the role of, and I thought this was a really great topic. The role of payroll in the employee experience, because we throw that term around a lot in the show, and EX is
Hmm.
the catchphrase for it. So I want to start off real quick by defining what employee experience is. Like, I mean, it kind of sounds obvious, but I
Let me
like.
let me
Go
say
ahead.
something though, because it's
Yeah,
the employee experience and retention.
and retention.
Yeah.
Payroll. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Um, the employee experience is, I like what this some who is this? The employee experience is defined as the cumulative assessment of an employee's interaction with your company and its people, said by Julian Lute, senior strategic advisor at Great Place to Work. Um, all this is
Oh,
in the show notes. Yeah,
what's the abbreviation for it?
For what?
Employee experience.
EX.
EX.
Yes.
My ex.
I know it's a little bad of an acronym. You got to say EX. You can't say X because
EX.
then it's like, what?
EX.
That's bad.
Yep.
That's a
Yeah.
bad connotation.
I know. I know. I know.
So when we talk employee experience or EX, we're really talking about everything your people see, do, and come across during their entire journey with your organization. It's about more than just having great perks or fun team building events. It's a whole fusion. How your culture makes people feel, how the relationships they build, the opportunities they get to learn and grow, and the motivation they feel to contribute and such more. At its heart, employee experience is about creating an emotional connection between your employees and your workplace. So if that's just the framework and retention, I'm glad you called that out because I forgot. I got caught up with employee experience and retention. I mean, retention is keeping employees, right? I didn't dig into fancy definitions. My bad. But retention is retention. Is how you keep the employees, and because it goes hand in hand. It's like then
Hmm.
if you have a good employee experience, you should have good retention.
Yep.
Um, so now I want to make some examples of how payroll directly plays a role in employee experience slash retention.
Yep.
And one of the things that I personally am going to do, um, and I need to share this episode with some of the stores that I support because some employees have been asking me, and I think I brought it up with you, like just talking on some payroll because. Folks, we talk about payroll even when we're not recording because it's our
Yeah.
job, and me and Walt just get into conversations like, "Yo, do you do this? Do you?" And now we at
Yeah.
different spots, so it's cool because we get to swap different notes, right, and different
We could be chatting on
experiences.
the weekend and payroll will come up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, but that's what it is for us, and
Yeah. It's
so
life.
anywho,
Payroll's
that's
life. Shout out
payroll.
Adrian.
Yo, shout out Adrian Resto. I was just thinking about him today too. Um, so one of the things that I want to really do for my workforce, my clients, my customers, the employees that I support
Hmm.
is I'm shooting to get payroll done earlier on the day it's due because what I learned was those early payments, like the Chimes of the world, those uh, direct deposit cards that get paid early if you move here
Yeah.
to us.
2 days
The
earlier.
right, the small print that they don't read or they don't tell you about is that it's really contingent on when your company presses the button for payroll. So if
Fine
I,
print.
yep, the fine print. If I process late in the day, it's going to hit normal on Friday. If I process earlier in the day, it has a chance to go in either later that day or Thursday, depending on the account that you have and the bank that you use.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that until recently, right? Because I've had a few employees complain about it, and I'm like, let me look up what this is about, and I was like, oh, it does say. If it doesn't come early, you have to check with your payroll department to see when they're
Mm,
whatever 'cause if they process late in the day, which we have the ability to, and I've had to fall back on to, well, legally it's payday. I don't have to,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I don't have to accommodate the early schedule. But I stopped myself and like as I was going through it, I'm like, yeah, but dang, the employee experience would be so much better,
Yeah. That's
right?
why. That's why it's in the wording, right? Like even
Right.
Chime, what their site says is Chime offers early direct deposit, which can allow you to get your paycheck up to 2 days before your scheduled payday. So up to.
Devil's in
So
the details is the
so
words.
it could be that Wednesday, or it might be Thursday, or
Yep.
you'll get it
Or
on the day you're
check date.
supposed to get it. Yep.
Day you're supposed to get exactly the day you're guaranteed to get it. But
Yeah.
anywho, like that's what I'm saying. Like for to improve the employee experience as a payroll professional, I want to get it done early. I'm shooting it to get it done earlier. And for any of my folks who's listening and whatnot, or listen to this at some point, it's other factors at play, folks. It's not just me. I promise you that. It's other teams that I have to move along, and
Hmm.
maybe even your managers. So there's pieces to the puzzle that have to fall into place for me to be able to process earlier, but I promise that I'm working toward that. Um, Pre-noting, right? We I dealt with that at Endeavor. Right? I had a colleague there that called it out. That was like, "What do you mean you can't skip pre-note? That impacts employee experience because they're because of the business model of the M&A piece of it, where you bring on already established employees into a new portfolio, like, and then you make them go to a pre-note after they've been somewhere for 10, 20 years, out of nowhere, just because owners are changing, it
Hmm.
impacts the employee experience.
Yeah.
So things like that, customer service, like our payroll department being a good customer service to our folks. Are you good at customer service? Are you responsive? Are you getting
Yeah.
back? Are you solving issues at all? Like that customer service from payroll
Yep.
impacts the employee experience, which ultimately impacts retention, because we'll get to
Yeah.
some of the facts, the great fat stats that Walt has for us. Um, the portal, right? Like we don't payroll, us as a payroll professional may not have control over it. It's the software vendors we use, but
Hmm.
how is the portal experience? Can I go see my pay stub? Can
Yeah.
I go see my time off? Can I request time off through that? Can I see my W-2 on my digital? Like, what kind of portal experience are they having? That it plays into the
Yeah.
employee experience that
Does
payroll has, right?
does the site or whatever service or site that they use, is it constantly crashing? Is
Oh my
it,
gosh.
is it
Yes.
always under technical
Yep.
maintenance or something like that? Is
Yep.
there always something going on that doesn't make it easily accessible to the employee?
Yep, exactly. Man, well, yes. How much friction is there, and is it necessary? And what I
Yeah.
mean by this is, like, can I change my direct deposit as an employee myself without having
Okay.
to go? Do I have to submit it and something gets approved and then I wait
Could
weeks
be
and
old
da da da? Da?
school. Send a
Right.
form in.
You got to send a. Oh my gosh, no.
Oh, you
And I'm
didn't sign
sure
this form. Sorry.
kick it back. Right.
Mhm.
If you don't, and I remember having to do that. I remember back in the day. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure there's still some companies that do it now. Like, you'd be
Hmm.
surprised, right? And do you have that? Is it paper timesheets? Are you not messing with Time
Mm,
Track Go? Are you not getting your time solved? Because if you're still using paper, that's not good.
nice little plug
Um,
there. I like that.
what else? And then the stages of the payroll,
Yeah.
and because again, I'm focused on employee experience. We throw in retention there. I think it goes hand in hand. But this article that will be in the show notes says that I'm just looking at some of the stats here. Throw me off. Anyway, the employee experience is these different stages:
Yeah.
attract, hire, onboard, engage, develop, exit. And it's in a circle. It's a nice little
Hmm.
diagram, right? Um, and I guess would it be too much if I shared my screen right now?
You should be able to.
No, because you know what? It's we haven't done it before. Is it a window? Let me see real quick, just so you can see the diagram, and I'll take it down.
Yeah,
Boom.
I see it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So that's the experience, and then let me stop. Awesome. And so in that experience, like I'm like I even like thought of, okay, where does payroll fall? Where does payroll even have an impact in this life cycle of the employee experience?
Hmm.
I don't think, well, maybe it is in a tract. It can be in a tract because, like, if you have earned wage access and you advertise that in your job ads, if you pay biweekly or weekly, I think that's attractive. I don't know if companies realize how attractive that is as opposed to semi-monthly.
Hmm.
Um, but that's just a payroll professional talking. That might not be the employee, but I think that should be there. So it can be there. I don't think it's too much in the hire. Compensation is not payroll, right? What they're offering you in a salary is not payroll. So I don't think payroll exists in that piece, in the hiring piece. I don't think it exists in the onboarding piece. Well, I guess it could, because in the there's some employee mapping that needs to go on. If that is not done right, it's going to impact your paycheck. And then definitely onboarding, engagement, development. Basically, those are the stages that you're with the company, and it's even
Yeah.
an exit. Payroll definitely plays a part in some exits, because if you're getting a severance, if you're part of a RIF and severance is part of it, or just even your final pay or your last check, that's a
Yeah.
part of the employee experience. Like, for me, in my mind, I want employees to be, to the extent that it's possible,
Hmm.
not have a lot to complain about on the way out,
Yeah.
right? Not be like, oh, this job,
Uh,
this company sucks.
what's the term they call it? Like employee life cycle, right?
The
Or
employee
something like
life
that.
cycle.
Yeah. Okay.
So, so it made me think about all the different areas where payroll, and it's good. I think it's great for a payroll professional to look at that diagram and really be like, okay, where does payroll play a part? What stages? You could probably argue in every stage, but I
Hmm.
don't see it in hire, a little bit of onboarding, definitely engage, develop, exit, and definitely in attract. I don't know if folks are using it as much as they should in the attract part of it, but I think it plays a part. Um, what else? Let me get back
Well,
to my
I
notes.
think
What's
I
up?
think I think it just depends. Speaking to what stages payroll is involved in, like there might be some stages we might not be really thinking of. It depends on
Exactly.
the structure and the nature of the business, right, and
Yeah.
how they're set up. In my opinion, right?
And perfect segue, because as a payroll department, you need to define how your organization sees payroll, right?
Hmm.
Because and then go back to the diagram and see how it plays in, because every payroll department are each payroll department for every company is responsible for different things, right? Um, are you, as a payroll pro? We talk about this all the time, like
Yeah.
especially offline. Like, wait a minute, I'm payroll. Should I be doing this? Should I be doing these things, or should I? And I
Yeah.
know I teach in my courses. When I'm teaching, I always say, hey, don't be afraid to stretch. Don't, take on those extra jobs, because that's how you stretch and learn more. But
Yeah.
how, like, how does it define? How is your payroll department defined, what you do, and that plays into the experience. And
Hmm.
then, and before I pass it to Walt, 'cause I'm going over in time here, sorry folks, it's the easiest part of the puzzle, in my opinion, meaning payroll is black and white at the end of the day. There's some art form to it, but a lot of it is just really black and white. And I think it's the easiest part of employee experience and retention that is 100% avoidable. Like, you don't, most of the, it's like, do it right. This is the one thing. Just do these things right, and you will play your part as a payroll department in the employee experience and retention.
I don't know what you're talking about. Payroll's magic, man. All right. I got some stuff for us here. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Just four different things I'm going to talk about. The first thing is about payroll errors and their impact on employee experience. So we shared this stat before, right? About how
Yes, we
50%,
talk about this
studies
all
show
the
that
time.
50% of employees will start looking for a new job after they experience two problems with their paycheck.
Yep.
So, accurate and timely payroll for the employee's experience is crucial, as 82% of employees have said that that payroll errors would affect their trust in their employer. Right, and I've heard that myself in my career, where a mistake happened, whether it was my mistake or someone on my team's mistake, and the employee called me, and the exact word was trust that they
Wow.
use. Right, like,
Yeah.
hey, I don't know if I could trust you guys now,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
people, because this is their livelihood, and they take it personal
Super personal. Yep.
when a mistake happens. Right.
Yep.
Number two, complicated payroll processes may impact the
And
employee
friction.
experience. Right.
Yep.
So simplifying these processes is a priority for many organizations, with 30% of payroll leaders citing that improved employee experience um, as a primary motivator for payroll transformation.
Hmm.
And look, here's another stat for employee experience and retention, right? So salary is one of the key factors for employee retention. And your word that you use on the employee life cycle, attracting over
Hmm.
62% of candidates. However, work flexibility, which is about 21%, and meaningfulness at work, almost 20% there, also plays significant roles in retaining employees, right?
Yep.
So it's just not the pay that people are looking for. They want to be able to find that meaning, that purpose in their work and
Hmm.
feel that fulfillment, get that fulfillment, and also be able to work flexibly, right? In their job. So companies that invest in payroll transformation often see improved employee satisfaction and retention rates. And here's an interesting one. The last one that I have is the union versus non-union employee experience. So union employees tend to have more structured payroll processes,
Hmm.
which can lead to fewer errors
Hmm.
and a more consistent experience, right? Because the union, not saying that union payroll is always perfect and that every
Yeah, they
union
can make
is
still
set up,
mistakes.
they
Yeah.
still make mistakes, but there's a lot of different things that you have to do for the union differently than a non-union employee, right? So it can potentially lead to higher satisfaction, more consistency, and which will impact retention rates that are compared to those of non-union employees, right? So a non-union employee may experience more variables when it comes to the payroll processes, right? I once knew somebody who worked for a company that changed payroll companies like once like every year. Like they sold like for 3 years, they like changed and then they changed again. There was one year they changed twice in one year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So think about how the employees, so, and nobody was thinking about the employee experience, right? You're like, oh, the employees will be fine. It'll just tell them
Because
log
that
in
was,
here, or
yeah.
they'll log in there, and then
Because look,
so
a lot of
yeah,
time for a long time, people companies were just like, "You be lucky you got a job."
yeah, yeah.
So
I've heard CEOs tell staff like, look, I can always put another butt in the seat.
yep,
So
yep.
good stuff. Just wanted to share that stuff. And before we close this out, I have a question of the day for you, Brian. And for those of you that are listening on live, thanks again. And on the recording that's going to post. So, do you believe that payroll professionals should have more control over the data-driven duties that impact payroll? So, i.e., employee changes, rehires, terms, etc. Yes or no, and why?
I think we already do not control, but I think we already play a major role in that. Well, yeah, I guess it is a good question because I guess it all depends on how vocal you are as a payroll person. Um,
It's about what policies are more so what SOPs or processes you have in place. Are you auditing certain data? If you're not responsible for entering data that drives the output for
right,
payroll,
right.
then you should at least make sure that you yourself or the other teams that are have the hands in the pot are auditing that data.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like be the driver of that. If you don't have any more control over what goes into the system,
You
look
got to
because
raise the red flags.
yeah,
You got to
right.
say you. Yeah, I like what you just said. Like if you don't have the control, you at least have to be the squeaky wheel and
Mm-hmm.
say, "Hey, my data's coming down to me bad," right? Because you know, they, payroll processes already approved data,
Yep.
right? So if the data's coming down bad, we're responsible for the end result, the end product, right? We talk
Mm-hmm.
about all the time how payroll professionals gotta get the raw deal on the my benefit deduction is messed up. I don't have that may not have anything to do with you,
May not
but you're gonna get the brunt of that blow anything that happens on the paycheck.
look. It happens in payroll, right? Where they expect you, oh, you should be catching this because
Yes.
I've even said it myself. I've even said it and I still feel like this, right? I feel like payroll pros we're kind of like the last line of defense, right? We're like
Mhm.
those free safeties back there,
Yep.
or we're
Yep.
like the outfielders,
Yep.
like they have to make those plays out there in the outfield, and I think that is kind of what. Look, or another, if you like hockey, like Laurel at pay org
That pay org,
with
yeah.
the goalies, right? You're kind of the last line of defense. So there are certain audits that you can run to try to, mitigate against certain things happening. But if there's a lack of communication, if you look, like for instance, if you don't know somebody is terminated and they're still active in your system, nobody communicated that to you in the payroll as a payroll pro. There's really nothing that
Nothing you
uh,
can do.
to do about that in most cases, right? And so I think that me personally, to answer the question, of course, I would, and it might be a complex that I have, so I might need some more therapy. It's control, like being in control of that situation and making sure that it all goes the way that I would like it to, right? And I think that's what it is for me is yes, I would love to have more control over stuff that impacts payroll. I would love to at least be a part of it, seeing like what changes happen, rehires, terms, those different things that will drive that output and drive that pay for that person, right? Because people, I think, would love, because this is kind of what I learned from you when we met 10 years ago or whatever.
Hmm.
Like, like if you can give them a number, give the C suite a number or
That's what I was
quantify like
just thinking about.
how much you can save.
Yep.
Like, look, just because we implemented this audit, we're able to save the company this much,
Yep.
or we caught this and we prevented this. This is how much overpays we had last year compared to this year because we implemented this one small audit or whatever it is. So for me, the answer is yes, and because I like to be in control, I guess. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think again, yes, we should have more control, and if we can't, we definitely need to be reporting the red flags.
Yep.
That's it. I think we, kind of strong arm it, like you said. You gotta attach the whys because we could, you know, because if not, it just sounds like we're complaining.
Yeah,
If you
yeah, I
don't
can get that.
attach the impact to it, it sounds like we're complaining. And it's like, what are you complaining about? Well, oh, I'm
Mm,
complaining about this. If you don't do this, this is what happens, right? If you don't fix this part, this is what happens. If we don't
yeah.
terminate in a timely manner, employees get overpaid.
Yep.
Period. So yeah, that was good, man. It was a great topic today.
All
And
right.
thanks for joining, folks.
Thank you for tuning
We
in.
love
See you
you.
next week.
Peace.
Peace.